know to which one the baby belong. I was the only billionaire among those four, that's why she chose me as the father. Why? Why can't you stay in Greece? Kamina asked, appalled. I looked at her. She looked pale after I announced the news of me moving back. Well, I said, the headquarters of my company are here and I don't want to see Bree anymore for the rest of my life. No, she shouted panicky and then shut up abruptly when everyone was staring at her. Kamina dear, is something wrong? My mom asked as she put her fork down to walk over to Kamina. I'm fine, she yelled and stood up and mumbled an excuse me before she disappeared upstairs to her room. I just shrugged. Must be her time of the month again. The next morning I was having breakfast when I saw Kamina rushing down the stairs to go to work. She wore a awful black conservative dress that made her look like a nun. Is that the new style? I noticed when she came to the kitchen to grab a banana. She just glared at me and snarled, "Oh please, shut up. What do you know about style, when the only style you care about are thongs and corsets?" I was taken aback by her sudden outburst. Why is she mad at me? I haven't done anything. And thongs and corsets? I prefer my girls naked. When it was lunchtime for Kamina, I decided to pay her a visit and apologize for whatever I did to her. Usually I don't apologize to girls, but she's my sister and I might need her help somewhere in the near future. I parked my Bugatti Veyron next to Kamina's white Bentley and walked inside the building. In my right hand I had the keys of my car around my index finger and in my left hand I carried a bag with 10 pieces of omakase from Kamina's favorite sushi place in New York, Sushi Yasuda. Good morning, Mr. Vasilios, Claire chirped as I walked past her, ignoring her whole presence. Claire is not the kind of girl I want to associate myself with. First of all, she's not my type, and secondly, she tried way too hard to get my attention. Who the hell wears red bright lipstick with blue eyeshadow to work? I'm surprised that Kamina didn't fire her yet, but then again my sister is way too nice. I walked into Kamina's office without knocking and I was shocked to see her there again. They both looked up at me, Kamina's eyes all red and swollen, and she was glaring angrily at me. I knew who she was. I'd met her 6 years ago and we did some pretty dirty stuff. Fun thing, she can't remember me at all. The only reason I went to Kamina's graduation was to see her and see if she still remembered me. Sadly, she didn't. I can still remember the moaning, the panting, and the way she was begging. God, she tasted so good. Fuck. I cursed softly when I felt my little boy getting a little too excited in my pants by the thought of her. What are you doing here? I heard the angry voice of Kamina that woke me up from my reverie. I smiled sheepishly. I'm sorry for whatever reason you're mad at me, but I brought you sushi. I walked over to her desk and handed her the sushi. Now, will you tell me why you're mad at me? I then looked at her friend, whose name I can't remember, but I know exactly what's hidden under all those clothes. A ravishing body that can turn any sane man psycho. Don't you have work to do? I asked, quirking an eyebrow. She rolled her eyes and let out a disapproving sound. So unprofessional. Jill Malik POV. Kamina and Flynn are total opposites of each other. While Kamina is caring and loving, Flynn is arrogant and rude. If you need anything, I'll be in my office, I said to her as I shot a glare at Flynn before walking out of Kamina's office. I still had tons of work to do. Kamina has a new eyeshadow palette that will be launched in 2 months and it still needed a name. Until now I can't come up with a suitable name. The eyeshadow palette she will launch will have mostly dark colors and it's supposed to radiate confidence. While I was busy thinking and writing down possible name ideas, someone slowly opened my door. I looked up and saw it was Kamina. She looked much better now than she did in the morning. Hey, she said as she walked towards my desk. Can I ask you for a favor? I rose up an eyebrow. Sure, I said, putting my pencil down. So, tonight it's Kat Von D's liquid lipstick launch and she invited me. Sadly I can't make it, because Blake asked me to go on a date with him, so would you please be kind enough to fill in my place? She looked at me with puppy dog eyes. I bit my underlip. I don't like to attend launches hosted by Kat Von D, because it's all so fancy and filled with celebrities and billionaires. I don't know, can't you send Claire? Kamina's eyes widened when I mentioned Claire's name. Oh goodness, no, have you seen her? Her makeup is terrifying and horrible. No honey, no, please Jill, for once. She pleaded. I let out a heavy sigh. Just because you're such a nice boss to me. Where and when? Kamina's eyes lit up. Thank you so much. You're a doll, she squealed happily. Here. She handed me a gold-brown manila envelope. This is the invitation card. You should bring this with you. The address and time is also written in it. I took the envelope and opened it. Gold Bar, 389 Broome Street, New York 10013, 8 p.m. Wow, her launch will be held in a nightclub? I asked, surprised. Kamina nodded her head. Yes, but a really fancy one. I bet Kendall Jenner and Gigi Hadid will be there. Damn it, now I have to look for a dress for tonight, I mumbled, putting the invitation card back in the envelope. Don't worry, I will send my personal stylist to your apartment at 6, he will bring some clothes and shoes for you, Kamina said excitedly. Thank you once again, Jill. Kamina walked around my desk and hugged me tightly. Blake and I will love you forever. Oh, and did I tell you he will bring me to Paris tonight? I chuckled and shook my head. Despite how much I love Kamina, she gets way too spoiled by Blake. Who goes on a date all the way to Paris? Blake and Kamina, of course. I let out a frustrated groan. I had to leave in an hour to Kat Von D's launch party and I was still sitting in my peignoir in front of my vanity table. Raina, on the other hand, was in heaven. Ah, sparkles, glitter, this is heaven, Raina sighed dreamily as she hugged a red sparkly dress. Chase, Kamina's stylist, gave her a weird look. He came an hour ago with a bunch of clothes, shoes, and makeup. He asked me what I wanted to wear. I scanned the dresses and nothing was close to what I had in mind. They were all either too revealing, too sparkly, or too short. Have you already made your choice? Chase asked as he looked wearily around. Do you have any suggestions? I asked for the nth time. He sighed heavily. The black one perhaps? He suggested. Goodness no, that dress looks hideous. It has so many feathers, people will think I'm a peacock. The blue one is ALS. I made up my mind, I will wear Italyâ. That was my first suggestion, Chase said, as he picked a black sparkly dress from my bed. Well, Chase, it's not that I have any other choice, the other dresses are just not my style. I slipped on the dress and it fitted me like a glove. It was a sparkly black lace mermaid dress with a slit and a deep cleavage in the front. It hugged my hips firmly that I'm so afraid to sit down in case it would tear apart. Chase, it's really tight around my hips. Don't worry, it will not tear apart if that's what you're afraid of. It better not. Now go sit down, I still need to do your hair and makeup. He pulled my hair out of my ponytail and started to brush it out. Stunning. Beautiful. Magnificent. Chase hushed as he spun me around. Holy mama. Raina squealed. You're going to take the spotlight from Kat Von D herself. I laughed. I don't think so, but thanks for the compliments. I walked to the life-size mirror in the corner of my room and couldn't help but let out a gasp when I saw my reflection. My hair was half up and half down. Chase curled the bottom parts of my hair that hung flowy on my shoulders. My makeup was done stunning. He managed to make my short eyelashes twice longer than it actually is. Now it's time for these shiny babies. I turned around to see what Chase meant with shiny babies. Hell no. I called out, looking at a pair of sparkly 5-inch heels. You don't have a choice, Raina said in a matter-of-fact tone. If you don't wear it, you will trip on your dress. I rather trip on my dress barefooted than in a pair of 5-inch heels. No, guys, please. No, 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 I will not let you wear that beautiful gown of Italyâ with flats, honey. I don't want to degrade my friend like that. Chase shook his head. I glared at him. Time is not waiting for you, Jill, he said, looking at his Rolex and tapping impatiently with his shoes on my carpet. Give me those goddamn shoes. Chase smirked and threw the shoes at me. He and Raina then went out of my room. I slipped the shoes on, grabbed my purse, and walked to the living room where Chase and Raina were now waiting for me. You look like a model best friend. Raina squealed excitedly when I entered the living room. Go get you a man, boo. Raina, I'm going to a launch party, not a club. I don't care, go get yourself a sugar daddy. I heard Kat Von D has a lot of billionaire friends. Well, that's true, but honey, I'm just going for the launch of her lipsticks, not for her friends. Ladies, you can chit-chat later. Jill, you're already 5 minutes late to the party, Chase said, interrupting the conversation me and Raina had. It's called fashionably late, Chase, Raina said sassily. Well, Chase replied in the same sassy tone, I don't want Jill to be fashionably kicked out after I've spent 2 hours on her look, so Jill, are you ready? I rolled my eyes. Yes, Chase, bye Raina, I said before closing the door behind me. When we were already in the elevator, I remembered that I forgot my car keys on my nightstand. Shit. I looked at Chase. I forgot my car keys. Don't worry, Kamina sent her personal driver to pick you up and drop you off. That's really considerate of her. Yes, she figured out it wouldn't be safe if you would drive alone late at night. I love Kamina. She remembered that I didn't like to drive late at night. Shall we? Chase extended his hand to me and I took it. We walked together through the lobby. Here and there women were looking viciously at me and men were staring at me. Agape. You're not even at the party yet and you made the men here insane and the women angry, Chase whispered, chuckling in my ear. Oh, shut up, Chase, good thing you're gay, huh? He laughed softly. Good thing I'm gay, baby. When we came outside, a white Range Rover was waiting for us. Hello, Baxter, you sweet delicate thing, Chase greeted the driver who was holding the door open for me. Hey Chase, nice to see you, man, Baxter said, and his eyes shifted to me. Good evening, Miss Malik. Good evening, Baxter, I replied, smiling. I stepped in the car and saw that Chase is not coming with me. Chase, aren't you coming? I asked before Baxter closed the door. Honey, no, I have a dinner date with my boyfriend. Oh, and by the way, if someone asked who your stylist was for tonight, tell them it's Chase Capri's. I nodded before Baxter closed the door. Everyone is going on dates and here I am going to a lipstick launch party. Chapter FOUR. Are you sure this is it? I asked, looking at Baxter with wide eyes. Yes, Miss Malik, this is the gold bar. I looked back outside. It was crowded with paparazzis. How am I going to get through that without tripping or being pushed? I will escort you to the main entrance, don't worry, Baxter said when he saw the terrified look on my face. I let out a breath of relief. Good, because I don't think I would be able to walk in 5-inch heels through that crowd of paparazzis. Baxter opened the door for me and that's when I heard paparazzi shouting, "Is that Zoe Clayton, Zoe?" Baxter held me firmly on my waist as we work our way through the crowd. I held my head down due to the flashes of the cameras. It's not Zoe, guys. I heard someone yell. If it's not Zoe, who is she? Wow, she's pretty. That's Kamina Vasilio's personal driver. Do you have your invitation card, miss? Baxter asked as we were approaching the entrance. I nodded. I was holding it in my hand. Suddenly Baxter let go of me. I can't go further than here. Have a great night, Miss Malik. Give me a call when you're ready to go home. I nodded. Baxter had put in his number in my cell phone on our way here. I walked to the 2 security guards who were standing in front of the entrance. I showed them my invitation card. They nodded and opened the door for me to enter. The entire room was filled with women in designer dresses and men in suits. Music was playing softly as I tried to make a way through the crowd searching for Kat Von D. I have to admit, this woman has a really great party planner. The liquid lipsticks Kat Von D will launch today are mostly yellowish and goldish. This whole venue just add more power to the liquid lipsticks. The gold bar was entirely gold, except for the couches on the side that were black. There were huge golden chandeliers on the ceiling providing just enough light to see everyone. So who are you, stealing the spotlight from my own party? A familiar voice said behind me. I turned around seeing Kat Von D in an elegant black dress from her own clothing line. Good evening, Kat. I'm Jill Malik. I work for Kamina Vasilios. Sadly she can't be here tonight. Kat rose her eyebrows. I heard she went to Paris with her boyfriend. Are you her personal assistant? I shook my head. No, I'm her copywriter. Ah, Kat said, so you're the little mastermind behind all the names of all her products. I laughed. Well, yes, I am. Interesting. Are you related to Zayn Malik? I shook my head again. I got this